Hi and welcome back everybody. Now we're going to look at locating suppliers, so locating dropship suppliers. Now this is a lot easier than you may anticipate, and we are making it even easier by not being too specific at this stage. So in other words, at this stage you should still be quite open-minded. So even though you may have a niche chosen, a main niche chosen, you should be open-minded about the sub-niches. So if your audience research that you have done using Facebook Insights has told you that your particular target audience is interested in a number of different things, so you know the different things that these folks are interested in. So at this stage, you should still have a fairly open mind about what you're going to sell to them. So as I say, even if you've got it narrowed down to a niche, so for example, let's say I had this narrowed down to jewelry, and then I could be very open-minded about the type of jewelry that I was looking for. So when we start to look for dropship suppliers, there's a few things that we can do. Now, first of all, we can look specifically for dropshippers. So to do that, just simply do a Google search for what you're looking for. Now, let's say that one of the things that I think that I may want to sell, one of the things that I would like to sell to my target audience is hip hop jewelry for men. So men's hip hop jewelry. Now, when we looked on AliExpress, I already know that this is a pretty hot little niche. So it's quite a big niche actually, but it's a specific niche, but there's still a big market for it. It sells really, really well. Now, the most obvious thing to search for is hip hop jewelry dropshippers, and certainly there are some here. We can find some just by doing this search. However, it's a kind of specific search. What we need to remember about wholesalers in general is that they're not particularly good at optimizing their pages and their websites for specific searches in Google. So doing a search for jewelry dropshippers, or even just men's jewelry dropshippers even, would be a better start, because we can then go and look at those dropshippers to find out whether or not they have the type of jewelry that we're looking for. So in this case, hip hop jewelry. So that would be a much better start than starting off very narrow with searching for hip hop jewelry dropshippers. Now, the other thing we can do is we can forget about the dropshippers bit and just put in wholesalers instead. Now, the reason that we do this is because not all wholesalers actually advertise the fact that they dropship, or it's not anywhere prominent on their website. So very often when you see a wholesaler that has the kind of products you want, but you can't see anywhere on the website that it mentions dropshipping at all, you can contact them and find out whether or not they do dropship. And the reason they don't always advertise the fact that they do dropship, or they are willing to dropship, is because they don't want to be inundated with inquiries from people who are just kicking tires, which happens a lot. So that's the second thing. Now here's something else. You may be searching for dropshippers in a country that you are not located in. Now what Google does, it tends to try and show you results that are more relevant to the country you're searching from. And it used to be that there were easy ways around this. So we used to be able to type certain things into the search bar that would actually redirect the searches to another country. So for example, if you wanted to search in the US, you could just type in /NCR, no country redirect. This doesn't really work so well anymore. Now, Google's changed things so it doesn't work so well. It tends to show us results that it thinks are more relevant to where we are actually located when we're doing the search. So what you can do is, so I'm here in Ireland, but I don't want to find any jewelry dropshippers in Ireland. I want jewelry dropshippers in the US because I plan to sell in the US. So let's just assume that. So I would just type in the US. And that's going to change my results a bit to give me results that are more relevant to the United States. So that's a really simple way of doing things. If I wanted to do the UK, I could just type in the UK. Now, it is true that you can't always find the suppliers you need for the exact products that you want to dropship, and that's why you need to be flexible and open-minded at this stage. So you don't want to be set in stone about your ideas. You don't want your ideas to be absolutely set in stone. This is what I want to sell, and I'm going to spend the next month trying to find a supplier for this particular thing, even though I'm not having a lot of luck. So, that's why it's better to have several products now that you could potentially be selling at this stage, so that you don't have to spend too much time looking for a supplier for a particular product if you can't easily find one. All right, so that's one way of finding dropshippers, but it's certainly not the only way. So let's move on and talk about some other ways to find suppliers.